Good afternoon, almost good evening to everybody out there, Longhorn fans. It's your favorite Unc Anwar Richardson. And I've just decided to go live. I've just decided on my own to go rogue, and I've decided to go live because after watching this NFL draft over the past 3 days, I said, to heck with this. We've got to discuss this. There's no way I'm going to wait until Monday for Overreaction Monday. There's no way I'm going to sit there and wait to see if I can get people on the show. As you can see, I got no banners in front of me. I've got nothing cute. We're just going to go ahead and give it to you because if there's ever a time just to say the heck with it, let's talk about the Longhorns. Well, damn it, today is the day. Woo! Historic. April 27th, 2024. I'm saying this for people who might be watching this in the future. The Texas Longhorns, Steve Sarkisian and crew, end up with 11, and I repeat them, 11 guys drafted in the NFL draft. They sent 11 guys to the combine, and 11 guys have found homes so far. Talk about wow. You want to talk about your Ric Flair, woo, all those kind of things. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to get into everything, but let's have the conversation, shall we? And again, I was just sitting around chilling. This is literally on my own. I've just decided that we need to have the conversation because it really epitomizes the success that Steve Sarkisian and crew have had. It epitomizes and shows the foundation that has been laid. When we talk about development of prospects, here is the fruits of that labor. And you see the payoff. Oh, I see him on Twitter too. Talk about seeing. I see people clutching for the pearls. I see people trying to figure out how they're going to hate. But it's hard to hate on the success that the Texas Longhorns have had in this draft. And again, we are going to talk all about it. And yes, Will Henderson, who comes in with a super chat already. Thank you, Will. He said, should be on cloud 9 about Jay Witt, but I'm still pissed about AD. Longhorn is the draft story, though. Hey, listen. First and foremost, I need Rodolfo in here. Somebody go find Young Buck. Somebody go find that man who was hating on Jordan Whittington for month after month after month, talking about TDs are greater than blockers, said he's going to be an XFL guy, all those kind of things. I want to know, where is Rodolfo? Somebody go wake him up because we need it. And of course, South End Zone Queen comes in. Shout out to my man Jay Witt and South End Zone Queen and Jay Witt are close friends. Not gonna lie, I cried tears of joy. Rodolfo, you owe him an apology. Oh, trust. South End Zone Queen. Rodolfo will have to show up at some point. He will have to show up. And when he does, oh my gosh, I'm going to make sure he gets it because it was a success. There's so many things that are so successful. Can I start with an overwhelming thought of something that I want to say this before I forget it, before I get into the big picture of Texas and the victory lap of stuff. But it makes me think, South End Zone Queen, of Rodolfo. And it makes me think of this program. You know what's interesting about this draft, and I think becomes a huge selling point for a guy like Steve Sarkisian and this staff going forward. When I see guys, and again, I'm going to work my way backwards on this, and this allowed me to jump. Again, this is not scripted at all. When I see a guy like Keelan Robinson, who's a backup and special teams guy, and I see a guy like Jordan Whittington, who basically played a role. When I see guys like that getting drafted, that shows to me, epitomizes to me, not only the respect level that the NFL has for Steve Sarkisian and the crew and what he does here, but it also shows me, guys, it also shows me that from a selling point for Steve Sarkisian going forward. Hey, if you just play a role on my team, you could go to the NFL. Most people have to sell to folks. Think about this. Most people have to sell to guys, hey, listen, if you come here and you sit and then you start and then you ball out, then you can go to the NFL. And Sark is like, look, man, if you come here and you just contribute, think about this. In back-to-back years, we have seen the backup running back at the University of Texas get drafted. Think about that. We saw it happen with Roschon Johnson last year. And now we see it happen with Keelan Robinson this year. And can I say technically, if I do some technicalities for a second, technically, Jonathan Brooks was a backup running back before the CJ Baxter injury occurred, right? Now, Jonathan Brooks ends up being a starter, right? So, but there is something to be said that technically, you would have had maybe 3 backup running backs that have been drafted, but Jonathan Brooks emerges as a starter. So, but just keep that under your head, right? If you just ever have an argument with somebody and you're arguing with an A&M fan or Oklahoma fan or whatever the case may be, right? Just keep that like, hey, listen, my program is so good. Our backups are getting drafted. Your starters aren't getting drafted. But think about what it will mean for a guy like Steve Sarkisian. Again, I want to start there, and I'm going to work my way. I'm just going to jump to different things. Think about what it means to a guy like Sarkisian to be able to sell that to every person on this team. Sell your, hey, playing a role can get you to the NFL. There's not a lot of programs that can say that, y'all. There's not a lot of programs that'll be able to sit back and say, you know what, play a role here. This reminds me, is this blasphemous? Can I say this? But this reminds me of what it was like, or what it has been like, when we've seen the good Alabama teams and the good Georgia teams, where you're just like, man, everybody off that team is getting drafted. Key role players are getting drafted. It shows you also the offense that Sark is running is NFL friendly. The offense that he's running right now is NFL friendly, where NFL players are saying, oh, you play in the Sark offense? Oh, I can use you. And how about this? You play special teams with Jeff Banks? Oh, we could definitely use you. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Because it's Sark. There's a lot of shout outs, by the way. There's going to be a lot of shout outs. I got a lot of shout outs to hear. But it's not only just a Sark thing, it's a Jeff Banks thing, because Keelan Robinson gets to come in, play a role, but you know how good he is in special teams. Jordan Whittington, his role will probably be as a special teams guy, but being able to know that they can do that, I'm just telling you. Before I get into the obvious of things, right? Before we just talk about the Byron Murphys of the world, right? Just some of the other little things, the little aspects, I think the game changers. They're game changers. I did a show a couple of days ago. And when I told you what I want to talk about, it's like, okay. But the show that I wanted to talk about is like, look, there's a mantle that's here, that's available to be passed to another program with Nick Saban being gone. Now, look, Georgia's Georgia. And Georgia's going to do Georgia things. I got that. But you can't tell me Alabama's going to be Alabama going forward. I'm just not going to believe that. And then I see Washington, and I'm like, okay, they were in the Final Four too. But I don't expect Washington to be what Washington was. And I start looking at the landscape. Michigan, oh, they got a lot of people. They're going to have a lot of people drafted. Jim Harbaugh gone, though. Jim Harbaugh is gone. And when I start thinking about, man, the programs that have the opportunity, Steve Sarkisian has positioned himself. And Steve Sarkisian has built up a program good enough where I can safely say, and then not be blasphemous, that Texas has a chance to be up there where we talk about the NFL draft with the Ohio States, with the Georgias of the world. It should be Texas. Like, that should be the programs that are in the conversation that we're talking about going forward as like, Oh man, 10 guys got drafted coming from Texas. That's what they've been able to do. That's what they've been able to accomplish. That's what this draft looks like. And again, someone said Ryan Sanborn's still on the board. We'll see what happens with him. Hell, at this point, I'm rooting for Jett Bush. Like, shoot, I'm down for it. I want to see it. But that stands out to me. It also stands out to me, Tashard Choice. Okay, let me say this. Let me say this about Tashard Choice. I see you, Stupesified, and still can't beat Oklahoma, and still goes to the Final Four. See, I mean, Stupesified, y'all gotta worry about Kansas. Just you got other things to worry about. You got other things to worry about, Stupesified. You gotta worry about Kansas. See if you get past that. See what you do with the SEC, Stupesified. We'll see if you build for it. But right now, Texas gets to take a victory lap. Says a lot about Tashard Choice, though, doesn't it? I will tell you this, and I will say it here. When Texas lost Stan Drayton, I was like, I don't know what this is going to look like. I'm a little unsure. Because it's like this. I knew Stan Drayton. I knew what I was going to get with Stan. Wasn't quite sure what I was going to get with Tashard, though. And I was like, okay, we'll see. I'm going to take a wait-and-see approach with him. I got to wait anymore. I've seen all I need to see. Stan Drayton is great, but Tashard Choice is the truth. I talk about Stan Drayton. Hey, it's Stan, no disrespect to you. Someone's going to report back to you and say, man, did you hear what I said about you? It's no disrespect, Stan. You're a great one, Coach Drayton. But I got to tell you, Tashard Choice, this man here, I mean, he's moving mountains. The way that Tashard Choice is able to develop guys. I mean, again, sure, you get Bijan's, the Roshans, we've got Jonathan Brooks, we got Keelan Robinson. Like, I get it. This is why I look at it and I go to next year. I'm like, Jaden Blue might be a first rounder. Am I wrong? I mean, that's Jaden Blue under Tashard Choice. That guy may end up being a first rounder. Just how good he is. How good Tashard Choice is. I just got to give Tashard Choice his props. We'll make sure I give him his props and give him his flowers. Because if I'm a running back, this is where I want to be. if I'm a running back, and Tashard Choice says, hey, man, I need you to be my backup. I'm like, okay. Because I'm going to be in the NFL pretty soon. I mean, I'm not going to question it. I'll be damned. Unless I'm Kyle Woods. I'll be damn. I'm transfer portal my ass. I'm staying right here under Tashard Choice. I'm staying right here. Tashard Choice. Gotta give that man his flowers, right? Got a fantastic job what he's done. I gotta give Torrey Becton his props. I gotta give him his props too as well. You got to be able to have a strength and conditioning coach and a staff that is able to work and develop guys to get them to this NFL level readiness. And Tashard Choice, he's done his thing. But Torrey Becton, the strength and conditioning staff to beat. This is, to me, the crowning moment. I've said this before. The crowning moment for that strength and conditioning staff was on the road at Tuscaloosa this past season when I saw the University of Texas in person go on the road, put a foot up Alabama's ass. I'm sorry, it's Saturday. I can say this. The kids shouldn't be around. And we saw that, and I knew when I saw them bullying Alabama, I said, okay, Torrey Becton and his staff, they've done the damn thing. I got it. I understand why they're practicing in the summer. I understand why they're practicing in the heat. I get everything. So I got to give that staff credit for what is happening and what's occurred here. Who else? I mean, there's so many other guys. We're going to go through the list. We're going to go through absolutely the list of guys, right? And of course, Steve Sarkisian, all those guys, everybody. Sark will get all the credit, and rightfully so. And look, there's people out there who will tell me, I got some text messages today, who will tell me that, hey, the previous staff kind of, recruited these guys and were able to, sign these guys. And I was like, hey, man, Listen, man, ain't nobody trying to hear that right now. Because you still got to give the good props for recruiting. But you got to give credit to the people who developed them, and they've been in the program long enough for these guys to go ahead and take it and take the credit for that. Byron Murphy, let's go through them, right? Let's just go through them one by one a little bit. Byron Murphy goes to Seattle, first rounder, 16th overall. I think there was a lot of speculation that Byron Murphy could be a top 10 pick, but he ends up being the 16th overall pick, which, by the way, ain't too bad. I remember getting on these airwaves last year and talking about how I've been hearing sources that have been telling me that Byron Murphy is really good. Byron Murphy's going to have a breakout season. Now, I'd be sitting here lying and telling you if I thought he would be a top 15, top 16 pick. But I kept hearing a lot of positive things about him. And then, of course, as the seasons went along, there kind of was that confirmation process, even though T'Vondre Sweat ends up having a breakout season that he had. And then Byron Murphy ends up being drafted at the 16th, goes to Seattle. Great place for him. And now we've got that. Now all of a sudden you see this what defensive linemen look like. Yeah, you got to give Bo Davis some credit for this one. Give Bo Davis some credit for being able to develop those guys. So we saw Moro Jomo, Keandre Colborn last year, and then you take the next step forward with the Byron Murphy, T'Vondre Sweat. It's pretty damn good. It's a pretty damn good. South Enzo goes, make this a Drunk Unk Saturday special to grab some Tito's, Anwar. What you talking about? Are you kidding me, South Enzo Queen? You see this Yeti cup right here? I'm no rookie. You don't have to tell me twice, nor do you have to threaten me with a good time. I already got the Tito's in the cup right here. I'm ready to go. This is Saturday. Oh, I love you so much. The second person who goes off the board is Xavier Worthy to the Kansas City Chiefs. I know we talked a little bit about that. It was a very interesting thing for me seeing Xavier go to the Kansas City Chiefs and see Buffalo trade out. And I think many people thought, well, Buffalo's going to trade out. I'm going to go ahead and get Adonai Mitchell in the second round. They don't end up doing that. And I'm just me. And I understand the logic. So just so we're clear, I understand a lot of Buffalo's logic. I understand them trying to get draft picks and all that kind of stuff. I get all that. But Buffalo, did you really go ahead and allow an AFC rival that you'll face in the AFC Championship game? Did you really allow them to get Xavier Worthy? I get what you're thinking about on your end, but sometimes you got to think counter moves too. Like, I know we want these things, and I know I would like to have some more draft. I wonder if there's another way for me to get draft picks as opposed to us giving him the fastest human being who's ever been running in the NFL. Okay, well, good luck with that. Because when Patrick Mahomes figures out this speed thing with him and figures out how to get the ball to him, they're going to listen. Nobody when KC goes ahead and beats Buffalo in the playoffs, if that happens, no one's going to say, well, the great thing about Buffalo is they really made a smart move back in the draft. Everybody's going to say, damn, but who the hell's supposed to cover Xavier Worthy? What an interesting strategy for them. It works out for everybody. And then here comes, this is the good part. This is the good one. Second round, 38th overall, T'Vondre Sweat. Oh, man. So, wait, I thought, and I was told that this was going to, that thing that happened was going to be a kind of a killer to T'Vondre's stock. That's what I was told. I was led to believe that. And I actually bought into it. Oh, man, well, I guess that's going to be a killer to the stock. Yeah, those are kind of bad things. Ooh, question about T'Vondre, and he's a partier, and all these things have related to T'Vondre. And I was like, oh, my gosh, well, I guess T'Vondre's stock, it's going to be fourth rounder? Oh, fourth round, huh? He was a second-round pick. These draft people who think they know what they're talking about, and they never know what they're talking about. I get so sick and tired of these draft nicks who come over here and try to tell me all these things that are going to happen that never happen. All you people put together your mock drafts. I mock you. By the way, I haven't had that much to drink yet. I've literally only had like 2 sips. It's literally full. But I'm just, Devondre Sweat ends up getting drafted in the second round. And for everybody who said he wasn't, whoops, whoops, whoops. Props to him. Hope he does great when he's out there. And then that second round was great, right? The second round, because they got Jonathan Brooks going. Second round, 46 overall by the Carolina Panthers. Hey, listen, I'm just glad he went second round. I'm just happy that he went second round, 46 overall. Would have loved, obviously, you love the idea of him maybe being in Dallas. That would have been great. But at the end of the day, I just love the idea that the young man is going to be in the NFL. I just like the idea. This is what I love, man. This is what I love, man. I'm telling y'all this. I love it because this is a guy who started the season as a backup, who quote unquote lost his job to a freshman and still kept grinding, still kept coming to work, still put on a happy face, still said, you know what? I'm going to be a team player. And I like to see people like that get rewarded. People like that inspire me internally. The Roshan Johnsons of the world, the Jonathan Brooks of the world. I love those kind of people. They're not the selfish, I'm going to go in the portal, I'm bump this, I don't want to do this, I don't like this, I'm going to take my ball and go home. I like to see a young man like that succeed, and it happened for Jonathan Brooks. Couldn't be happier. Could be. I don't know the young man, but I'm just happy for him. And then after that, Adonai Mitchell gets drafted by Indianapolis. And then all of a sudden, you and we have a favorite GM, don't we? Oh, we had a favorite GM, don't we? Where is it? Hold on. I know you guys saw it. Hold on. I hope I don't get a copyright on this. But this is definitely, hold on, I'm gonna make sure I play this, because this here was a classic. Hold on, I'm gonna get this for y'all. Hold on, I'm gonna get this for y'all. This is good. I'm by myself, so you just give me one. You gotta give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. I love it. Here we go. You ready? I just want to play it again.
I don't know. I mean, I read some of the bullshit that was said on TV. I mean, just the typical fucking, excuse my language, our typical league, unnamed sources, bad interview. That's such bullshit. I mean, it fucking is. It's bullshit. Like, put your name on it. I'm tired of, we tear these young men down. These are 21, 22 young men. And if people out there can tell me they're perfect in their lives, it's crap. It's crap. This is a good kid. And, for those reports to come out, like, I said it last year, it's bullshit. I'm sorry. I apologize for the language. I don't, but I do.
You don't got to apologize to me. You ain't got to apologize to me, man. Listen, they ain't got to apologize to me. I'm with you. I remember when that thing came out, and I said, like, man, I hadn't heard that. And, and I was like, well, I cover the team all the time, but maybe I missed something. Like, maybe there's something that happened that I just genuinely missed. Okay, well, okay, maybe that's on me. But no, it was. He's like, what the blank are you talking about? Adon Mitchell, all the stuff, character concerns, blah, blah, blah. Another just dumb pre-draft story. It's over. So you have 3 Longhorns that are taken in the second round. Then we move on. We kind of, start off the day slow and like, well, this is not fun. I say we started slow. We didn't get nobody in the third round. So today we start off the day actually fast with Ja'Tavion Sanders finally going 4th round, 101st overall to what? Carolina. Carolina seems to like Longhorns, and that's okay with us. So Ja'Tavion Sanders, he goes to the Carolina Panthers. Then Christian Jones gets drafted by the Arizona Cardinals, 5th round, 167th overall. Happy for that person, young man. Happy that he was able to take advantage of a COVID year, a super senior year. Props to Kyle Flood. Kyle Flood's going to get a lot of credit in the next couple few years, right? I mean, we're going to be talking about Kyle Flood ad nauseum as relates to the draft starting next year, right? He's going to get a lot of credit for that. But Christian Jones was a guy that a lot of people didn't think would ever be good. I'm talking about people who thought that he was. Can we just be honest on a Saturday night? There are people who told me they thought Christian Jones was trash. Not coaches, but there were Longhorn fans who told me Christian Jones was trash. And then to see him take advantage of having an extra year, to see him be able to come back and think to himself, you know what? I can become better and become a draft pick. And then to see Christian Jones get drafted, Kyle freaking Flood did the damn thing. He's going to get credit for Kelvin Banks. He's going to get credit for DJ Campbell. He's going to get credit for Cam Williams, right? There's going to be a list that every single year we're going to go on and on and on. Hell, might get credit for Jake Majors. I'm not putting it past him. But we know year after year after year, there's going to be a Trevor Gooseby, there's going to be a Brandon Baker, right? There's going to be a Neto. Like, it's just going to keep going on and on and on. But I will tell you, like, the one that will get lost in the sauce, because a lot of these guys who are coming up next, they're going to be first rounders and second rounders, right? They're going to be day 1 and day 2 picks. And so we're probably going to forget about a guy like Christian Jones, the same way we forget about a guy like Tope Amade. I've often asked the question, if Tope Amade had been coached by Kyle Flood, could Tope Amade have been in the NFL? Some people have told me no, but in my heart, gut, I feel like he would have been, because I saw a coach in Kyle Flood who was able to get something out of that young man. And I see what he's able to get out of Christian Jones to turn that guy into an NFL player. Kyle Flood deserves every freaking penny that he's getting paid. I'll say it, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. Whatever he's getting paid, he deserves more. Kyle Flood. All right. By the way, Kyle, if you want to save me some money, I can be your agent. Whatever he's getting paid, he should get paid more. That's how good Kyle Flood is to have Christian Jones get drafted. Love the pick. Love to see him going out there to Arizona. And then Keelan Robinson, which I talked about a little bit before. 5th rounder. 5th round, by the way. 167th overall. I mean, this is... Now, here's the Keelan Robinson thing. Keelan Robinson, to a certain degree, Ryan Watts, and a certain degree to Adonai Mitchell. I want to throw this in here as well. Because I told you, there's a recruiting conversation to be had, right? There's a recruiting conversation to be had and the impact that this thing could potentially have, right? But I will say this. If you're Steve Sarkisian, you are able to literally talk to anybody in the transfer portal and say, look, this could work out well for you. It's not just about, who did I recruit and who did I develop per se, but you come in here and I can develop you. You leave your program and I'll develop you. If I'm any of those guys who transferred in, the Moores of the world, Trey Moores of the world, the Makubas of the world, if I'm any of these guys who came in here, I'm looking at this and saying, I have found where I need to be. This is my Mecca. This is my heaven. This is where I need to be because I am here in this football program. And so I look at a guy like Keelan Robinson, who transfers from Alabama, who's a backup, who people say, he's just a role player, this and that. But he does so good as a backup running back, but also special teams, which you know is a specialty, and to be able to get drafted based off of that. Drafted. Not the the crazy thing. I'll tell you this. I thought Keelan Robinson would be an undrafted free agent. Dude's 5th round pick. I mean, he wasn't like, it wasn't like a 7th rounder where you're like, okay, well, you were close to being undrafted. Wrong. Happily as well, by the way. Keelan Robinson in the NFL. Again, says a lot about Tashard Choice, says a lot about Jeff Banks, of course, Sarkisian. I'm giving everybody their flowers here, right? Of course, and then Jalen Ford goes in the 5th round, 175th overall. That to New Orleans. That's kind of the spot where I thought Jalen would go. It's kind of where I thought it would be for him, probably around that 5th round thing. But super happy for that guy. Good guy. Oh, good guy. I enjoyed talking to him. Really enjoyed talking to him. Good family, mom, beautiful woman. Just a beautiful woman. Just a joy to talk to. The family, just really good people. And the times I've had to be able to, you meet people like outside the stadium and stuff like that, or you see them around on different events. Just a good family. They should be really happy. And I'm just happy to see that guy get drafted. A guy that I predicted a couple of years ago would be my breakout player. And people were like, Jalen Ford, like, what the hell are you talking about, a Jalen Ford? And I was like, no, Jalen Ford, I think he can ball. I think that dude can go. And he did. And now to be able to see him go 5th round. I mean, and again, we're going to see more. We're going to see more. Anthony Hill's coming, right? David Benton, I don't know. I'm not doubting anybody anymore. I just tell you, I'm out. I'm not doubting any person that's out there on this Longhorn roster, just because what they was able to accomplish. Ryan Watts gets drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you are a defensive guy and you are a DB, you want to go to Pittsburgh. Just point blank. You want to go to Pittsburgh. You want to be coached by Mike Tomlin, 100%. And so to see that guy, transfer portal guy too, again, the portal's open. And if I'm Steve Sarkisian, I'm sure I got a lot of things to show. And hell, I don't really think I got to sell too much. But just in case I do have to sell something, I'll sell him a Ryan Watts. And I'll say that, hey, portal's open. And guess what? You come in here, walk in one door, and go into the NFL door. That's what coming to Texas can do for you. Do you want some of that? Ryan Watts gets drafted as well. And then, of course, we talked about Jordan Whittington. 6th round, 213th for all he's just a blocker. He's just a special teams guy. This is a guy. This is the great thing about Jordan Whittington. The great thing about Jordan Whittington, he was a guy who, as you guys know, fought a lot of injuries. It was tough for him. Tough to really stay healthy. Why? Because he did a lot of, for those who are lifters, for those who work out a lot, you'll understand what I'm saying this. And I know you're going to look at me like, you ain't really lifting too much except that Yeti cup. And to that, I would say you're correct. But the thing that was the issue that I was told with Jordan Whittington was that, hey, he just lifted a lot of heavy weights when he was younger, put a lot of strain on the body. South End Zone Queen, this is kind of your expertise. You could probably explain this to people a lot better than I can, but did a lot of heavy lifting as a young person, and that led to a lot of injuries. And so when this staff came in here, they had to basically, and I say the staff, I know only Steve Sarkisian, of course, but then of course Torrey Becton, and be able to say like, hey, you know what? Too much heavy lifting, guy. We got to cut out that thing. And then we got to get you on a better lifting program, right? And then because he was able to do that and get him on a better program, now all of a sudden you saw Jordan Whittington that was actually able to stay healthy. And so the best is probably yet to come for Jordan Whittington. I guarantee you the best is yet to come as relates to that guy as he goes to the Los Angeles Rams. And look, he's a guy that you and I, we know Jordan Whittington will make the team as a special teams guy. You and I, we know that. And so now, and again, that was another thought. Well, he had the hamstring slowing him up. Didn't do a lot in the offseason. So, is he going to get drafted? And then he does. 11 players drafted by the University of Texas in the 2024 draft. Let me tell you, I mean, Steve Sarkisian don't really need much more of a recruiting pitch, but he sure has one. Doesn't he? He has one. He doesn't need more ammunition, but he sure can load it up to say, look, when I first got here, nobody drafted. Second year, I had 5. Year 3, 11. Next year, who's next? What does it look like next year? I want us to enjoy this moment, right? But What does it look like for the Quins of the world? What does it look like for like everybody else that's out there? Like, there's a lot. What's it, Kelvin Banks? Like, how many first rounders are we potentially going to talk about next year? I mean, are we at 11? Are we at more? If you still, Sark, this is what you're able to say, not only from a recruiting standpoint, but you're able to kind of cement yourself. If you Sark, really, this kind of is the final, I would say, like the final, what's the word I'm looking for? Not ace in the hole, but this is kind of like the final, I don't know, like moment of the 2023 season. It's the word I'm looking for. But this is kind of them putting a ribbon and bow on a success. Not only the wins that occurred, not only getting to the playoffs, that, winning the Big 12 championship, winning the playoffs, and then being able to say, oh, yeah, and by the way, we put these guys in the draft. And one of the things I'm going to be writing about for tomorrow is going to be this. One of the things you're going to see on Orangebloods tomorrow is going to be this, and I might talk about it next week. But if you're also a Texas fan, the draft has been this thing that has happened that you haven't really been able to. Thank you, Captain. Selling point. But it's also I'm also thinking like when you put the flag in the ground, like it's almost kind of like that. Like that's what I want to put. But you've been able to kind of be able to not really. You know what? This is what I was trying to say. Okay, so when Texas usually has their draft, right? It's usually particularly overshadowed by the SEC. It's always overshadowed by the SEC. And it's year after year, it's like, man, the Big 12 had a couple of guys, a couple of crackerjacks fell on the ground, and that was the Big 12 draft. And then it's like the SEC is like your Jiffy Pop that you had on the stove back in the day, and it's just like one player after a number, and just getting just one another player, just pop, 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 pop. This person from Ole Miss, and this many from Alabama, and this many from Georgia, this many this, and now all of a sudden, if you're a Texas fan, I know these numbers will count towards the Big 12. Go ahead and let them have it. Let them have their little party. Let them have the little things that they want. Okay, you want to go ahead and ride on Texas's coattail and Texas's jock heading. That you want to do one more thing, that's fine. But here's what you know is that Texas is ready for the SEC. Now you know that Texas is producing athletes, producing NFL quality guys to be able to say you're going to go into the SEC conversation. People have asked me over and over. I go on all these shows. I go on all these. I won't name them because that sounds like I'm name dropping. So I go on all these shows, right? And people keep asking me, well, you think Texas is ready for the SEC? How do you think Texas onward? To give me your opinion about Texas. Do you think Texas will be able to handle the SEC? And I told them Texas has been okay handling the SEC opponents as far as I'm concerned, as far as I've been in. I've seen wins against Missouri. I've seen wins against Georgia. Well, I guess they didn't want to be there that year, right? So it doesn't count, right? Because Georgia, they didn't make the playoffs. So whatever, right? You remember that BS, right? I've seen Texas go toe-to-toe with an LSU and be toe-to-toe with one of the greatest shows on turf, one of the greatest college football teams that we've ever seen, right? I've seen Texas. Okay, I saw them got throttled against Arkansas, so I'll put that in there as well. And then I saw them go and whoop that ass up in Tuscaloosa. So my answer has been, yes, I think Texas is ready. But now you get ready to go, and I get to see, yeah, but look what Steve Sarkisian is doing from a talent development standpoint. They've got guys. This shows you. They've got guys who can compete. And here's the thing. You and I both know they've got guys on this team that are going to be just as good, if not better, than some of the guys who were just drafted. Seriously. We haven't got to the quarterbacks. We haven't got to the offensive linemen, right? Question about defensive line, sure. But the receivers, I mean, again, they may not have anybody that runs as fast as Xavier Worthy, but you've got some receivers that are out there. I could look and point to a stacked running back room. I could point to edge rushers that I feel like are going to have an impact. I could point to a future NFL linebacker in Anthony Hill, and I got DBs out there. Yahoo, you tell me. I know I got Malik Muhammad and Derek Williams. I'll start there, and I'll get there somewhere else. I know they've got guys. And so I see a program that has gained momentum. You can see how the building blocks has been laid. You've been seeing how the foundation has been laid, and you saw what happened in the 2023 season within the season, and now you see what happens in the 2020-24 draft. And again, to me, I guess better than I don't think I can think of, it's Steve Sarkisian taking that pole and planting it. People are going to ask the question. I see you guys in there. It's Texas back. Texas back. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Of course, yes. Yes. They went to the playoffs. They put 11 guys in the NFL. The answer is yes. Now, I know what's going to happen. People are going to watch the upcoming season and look for something to hate on, to see if their team struggles or something to that effect. But you can't deny where we at today is on April 27th, that Texas has really, and Steve Sarkisian have really gone ahead and put their footprint, fingerprint, all kinds of prints. And again, when I start looking for the heir apparent to Nick Saban, the GOAT, by the way, Nick Saban, and we start looking at the heir apparent, I'm gonna look at Kirby. Oh yeah, first I'm gonna look at Kirby. I'm gonna look at Kirby. But I can tell you this much: after I look at Kirby, I'm gonna look at Sarkisian. I'm not gonna look much further. I'm gonna look here, and I'm gonna look right here. I'm also gonna look at Lane Kiffin, by the way. I like Lane. I think he could do some damage up there. I really do. I like Lane. I think he's a good coach. But I'm looking at the guys who are going to be the next generation, the guys who don't get scared of the transfer portal, honest coaches who approach it like from an NFL standpoint. That's what Steve Sarkisian does. He runs it. He's very honest with guys. He had meetings last week with people. Everything he did, very honest as he sat down with these young men and said, this is where I see you at. This is what you can do for this program. This is what you can't do for this program. I think you're a good fit. I don't think you're a good fit. And all of a sudden, I'd say to myself, yeah, he runs it like an NFL, and people respect that. To this day. DeBoer is a wait. Who's drinking? Who's drinking right here? Wait. No. Vivek. Golly, you got the chats are going crazy. Damn, man, get me fired up. Hey, man, I appreciate that. But I mean, DeBoer, you telling me DeBoer is better than Sark? Oh, wait. Hold on. Let's go there. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do. Let's go here. Hold on. So I've got. Am I going to go off of 2 years at Fresno State, 2 years at Washington? So that makes it better. Vivek, is that what we're talking about? Are we talking about 2 years at Fresno and 2 years at Washington and 2 years with a quarterback who you had at Indiana, by the way? 2 years with a top 10 quarterback? 2 years with a top 10 quarterback? No. Psych. No, I'm not taking that. DeBoer, no, he's still got a lot to prove. And by the way, here's what DeBoer has to prove: that he can actually recruit in the SEC and recruit against the big dogs. But here's the thing: when you're at a school like Washington, you don't have to really worry about recruiting against the top dogs, the elite dogs, or anything to that effect. Can you do that at Alabama? Can you recruit against Georgia? Can you recruit against Sarkisian? Can you recruit against Ole Miss? I want to see him do it there. And can you win without a top 10 quarterback? Now, you do that, okay, I'm willing to entertain the conversation. But until you do that, I'm not going to negate anything that he accomplished. I'm not going to take that away from him. The last season, the last 2 seasons, they were absolutely remarkable, and they were able to put guys in the NFL. But right now, he's walking into a place where he's got to figure it out. I've got a coach over here that's already figured it out, who's already got the momentum going. So, yeah, I'm not. And by the way, I'm not tripping off a 1-point loss. And by the way, can I just say this? Sidebar for a second. This is for all the Quinn Ewers haters out there. All the Quinn Ewers doubters that are out there. And this is for all you guys who are Longhorn fans, ladies, as well. Everybody who's a Longhorn fan, I sure hope you enjoy this, what I'm about to say. When we start talking about Quinn Ewers and start the narrative of Quinn Ewers, can we please do something? When you start talking about the Washington game and what he did or didn't do, can you, if you want to say he was outperformed in that game, can you at least say he was outperformed by the number 8 overall pick as a sophomore, as a 2-year guy? Can we at least say a guy who is like 23 years old had a better performance than a guy who's been on campus for 2 years? I mean, or at least has started for 2 years. Like, can we at least say that? Can we at least, I just want to know, can we at least rewrite the narrative of Quinn? I know I'm the Quinn guy. I know I'm the Quinn defender. I understand I'm a Quinn truther. Like, I get all this kind of things. But can we, that Penix was taken in the top 10. I don't want anybody to tell me anything else about, oh man, you know, Quinn got outperformed by Michael Penix. He got outperformed by a guy who was a number 8 overall pick, but he's been on campus for 2 years. I don't want to hear it anymore. Put some respect on that young man's name. This guy been on campus. I didn't realize during the draft process how old Michael Penix really is. Dude turns like 24 in a couple of weeks. Okay, so you're talking about a guy in year 2 got outperformed by a guy who's been on campus for 6 years? Oh, man. The horror. The horror. The horror. Oh, damn. That's what we're doing? I'm sorry. That happened this weekend. And I saw this and I was like, man, I don't look for ways to excuse Quinn or anything like that. I'm very objective. But I kind of looked at that thing and was like, man, some people out here smoking some real bad stuff, not even good stuff, to not be able to see the forest from the trees. I don't know. That was just a sidebar. Okay, last thing I'll say. I had expected, by the way, to only talk for about like 20 minutes, but y'all got me fired up. So therefore, it just is what it is. It's my Saturday night. Didn't anticipate doing the show at all, but I just decided to come live on my own, roll up here, solo dolo. I just want to close with this. I just want to be able to say, you as a Longhorn fan should be happy. You as a Longhorn hater should be worried. Oh, I got messages for all of them. I'll start with the haters. For the haters, I would say this. You might be able to say a couple little things. Stupefied, you my guy. Like you, man. I do. Seriously. And you might be able to say, oh, yeah, well, you know we beat you. But you know what? That's that. Okay, hold on. I'm just going, I was about to cuss. But I want to let you know, if you have kids in the car, I'm about to cuss. And if you have kids around, I'm about to cuss. My kids are in the other room. So I just want to kind of give you a little warning, okay? That's that bullshit that Texas fans used to say that Oklahoma fans would always ridicule. When Texas fans would say, well, you know, we beat you in the Red River. And you're like, yeah, okay, but we're also right there in the college playoffs right now. So it don't really matter. Guess what? It don't matter. Take your little I-9 trophy and go shove it up your ass up there in Norman. Nobody cares, okay? People care about the winners, and the winners were Texas, and Texas was able to get to what ultimately counted, which was getting to the college football playoffs. And again, sure they lost, so what? Got it. They were the top 4. Got it. No problem. Be worried. Be worried about what your program will or will not be able to do. once they get into the SEC. That's what I would say. Be worried about that. Be worried about where you at. Because we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Because we ain't seen it. And I'm looking at a program that's going up. I'm looking at a program going up. And I'm looking at a program that not bad, OU. Not bad. But we'll see if that's good enough for the SEC. Everybody else, A&M, everybody else. This is the thing I'm telling you. That everybody, especially like at A&M, right? A&M used to be able, after the draft, you know what A&M would do? You know how many people in the SEC got drafted? Well, guess what? We're in the SEC too. So guess what? Their wins are our wins. Come to Texas A&M. Can't say that now. Oh, you might be able to ride the SEC coattails. But guess what? Not for long. Not for long. Because guess what? Come next year, Texas wins will have to be identified as your wins. You ain't going to like that. You ain't going to like it when people start saying, hey, man, Texas put 12 guys in the NFL and they're in the SEC. Oh, but we only put in like a couple. Gonna have to get your weight up. Gonna have to get your weight up. Better hope and pray that Elko got you. But if you're a Longhorn fan, you should be very happy because this is an upward trajectory. This is an upward trajectory that you're seeing. And Vivek, am I saying there's a new sheriff in town? You're damn right. Name is Sheriff Sarkeesian. Hey, hide your mother, hide your kids. Doesn't it seem like there's a new sheriff in town? Don't you look back? Won't you look after this draft and say to yourself, you know what? I don't know if Texas is one to be messing around with. I'm just saying, it's a great day, not only for where the program is, but where they've come from, and it's also a great day to know where the program is absolutely going. 11 Longhorns got drafted. That's a hell of a day. All right, y'all. I've had enough. Y'all go enjoy the rest of your Saturday. I'll see you on